Now you employ 4 workers. How much a week do you pay the workers? How much do you gain per day out of the workers? So all what you gain been going away and nothing been staying in the country. So the country been getting poorer and poorer. And the people be getting more frustrated, more than more.
Like in the free zone, where we term the slave zones, you find the average worker is working far less than what that company would have paid a worker in America.
The free zone is an era. I would consider it to be like a state, not a country.
We sew, we put out the label, we trim.
I was sewing the pocket.
The free zones came into Jamaica in the 1980s. The U.S. government decided on a Caribbean Basin initiative with the idea of creating a lot of employment at the lower level basis. The Caribbean Development Bank gave some money, the World Bank gave some money in order to build the actual structures. The government is paying back the loan on all the free zones. This will take some time.
All the materials for this production process come in trailers from the United States. These materials consist of cut parts that are cut in the U.S., made in the U.S., and put in bundles. This also involves the importation of elastic and trim and thread and all the components. This product is made of 100% USA-made material, and we only assemble it in Jamaica.
Thread and materials, and take them from abroad and don't buy them in Jamaica. So they don't want to spend their money in Jamaica.
You must do the collars or the sides, or you do the shoulder part. You must finish about 10 bongo for the day.
I was doing the Tamil figure. I was on that section.
So for Tamil figures, Brooks Brothers,
Them do like Tammy, Brooks Brothers, Richard, and Mark Alexander Sports.
I don't know how much them really get for a shirt, but I hear that them get a good amount. When I was first employed, I heard that we were to get the money in the U.S., but the government said no, they must change it out and give us it in Jamaican because they need the U.S., the country need the U.S.
They are able to come in for a number of years without paying certain taxes.
The free zone operates in the theoretical thing that it's not even part of Jamaica. It is a separate entity. So the goods come in a container and go through guarded gates. After it leaves the free zone, it goes back onto the ship, never in effect having touched the shores of Jamaica. So those factories are not liable to local controls. They're not liable to things like income tax or certain duties, taxes, anything like that. The free zone is to give the opportunity of people to operate without the controls or the laws or the systems that normally govern a country's operation.
If you get the color to sew, you have to sew the 600. If you don't sew the 600, you know that you don't get a pay for that.
A lot of pressure, because they pressure you a lot. They tell you have to go fast, fast, fast. Salary that we get in Jamaica, so we have to work 5 days a week for the week to get 1,200 Jamaican dollars, which is valued 30 US dollars.
my salary I receive $1,500 in the US, that is $30 US dollars every 2 weeks.
And when you look at that, I'm sure there's nowhere in the US where people's basic pay or minimum wage is $30 per week.
This is my pay slip for the second week, and they're drawing out education tax, NIS, NHT, for the health insurance.
And you used to pay like NIS educational tax and stuff like that, but apparently they wasn't paying it. It was just taking that money. Because when I check it out, I wasn't paying any tax, but it was being drawn.
You have to buy a lunch for $75, a drink for $25. Sometimes you come home nothing.
Persistent complaints about work conditions at the Kingston Free Zone led our news team this morning to investigate complaints against one factory there.
The fine line workers stopped working on Monday, accusing the government of being co-conspirators in the exploitation of free zone labor by foreign companies. They say the problem began in January of last year when their pay suddenly began to be issued 2 weeks late, 3 weeks late, sometimes longer.
How can that happen? No government. We don't have any government. We don't have nobody to stand for.
Fine Line is owned by a larger company, Schweitzer and Associates, based in Alexandria, Virginia, USA.
They were promised that the workers would not be unionized. They would not allow unions to come in.
You can't talk to nobody. You can't eat. You can't get up to go bathroom. They're watching you. Miserable. It's like you're working under slavery.
Every Thursday, people get fired and them not taking on anybody to work in the next year.
And then they bring in the Chinese to back it up, to back up the Jamaicans. And they treat the Chinese better than us.
There are even more problems in the island's garment sector this evening, with production at one factory all but stalled.
Thursday, when our news team arrived, it seemed like a ticking bomb finally saw a chance to explode.
East Ocean Company brought in a lot of Asian workers, I think maybe up to 800 people.
These workers are brought in hundreds, and they live in what we consider to be a camp situation. So they're all housed in one place.
We were not allowed into one of the main factories, but our camera caught a glimpse of the interior. The Jamaican workers say the women who started coming in from earlier this month are given more overtime work and hence more money.
Them don't object to nothing because they are get paid in US. Meanwhile, Jamaican get paid in Jamaican currency.
Can the government afford this influx of foreign workers when the Great Free Zone promise was to alleviate those very same unemployment problems?
Obviously, we're trying to provide employment for Jamaicans, not Asians. They claim that they couldn't get the people in Jamaica with the skill level that they needed for that job.
If the government asks them to give us more, probably they would close down the factories and go to Mexico, because most of them gone to Mexico because them say they are cheaper labor.
You know, these companies are very aggressive to make profits, and they're accountable to their shareholders. So they basically just went, they're in a position to move the production to areas that are, cheaper for them.
I worked there for 15 years, and they fire me for low production. See, I'm not doing enough. They want me to draw 1,000 and I couldn't go up to it.
The free trade and NAFTA agreements have impacted initially very badly on Jamaica.